Hello and welcome to Galactic Gumbo, episode 42. This is part of the show we talk about all the things that are geeky. And this episode being the first one we've done in like 4 months. I just looked it up, and the last one was August 18th. So we're actually like 4 months and 4 days behind. But anyways, bringing you guys a show this week, and we're also going to have one here in 2 weeks on January 5th, where we're going to be doing our top 20 purchases of 2018, or toy purchases. And I'm sure Mike will have pop figures in there. So, all right.
This year.
What we're going to be covering is basically doing Mount Rushmores as we usually do to top off the show, but we're going to be doing it in these categories. Let you know the best movies that we each watched, best TV shows, best games, best comics, and we got some, what toy properties did you collect in 2018? What toy properties do you plan to collect in 2019? And what's some toy properties that you hope get made in 2019 that don't currently exist? So, and and some a couple YouTube channels that we really enjoyed in 2018 as well, and we'll just stay away from naming ourselves. So, because I know that Primal Selfish was probably going to go selfish mode, be like, well, first off, there's Primal Sabbath.
First of all, Primal Sabbath. Second of all, Primal Sabbath. Third, fourth, and fifth, also Primal Sabbath.
He just names like all the podcast shows that he's on. All right, so let's go ahead and start with introductions because we usually do hauls as well, but it being 4 months, we decided that would just be an entire episode on its own, and we're just gonna dismiss that. So getting back on track, next show we'll probably go over hauls or something like that. But Dakota, where can people find you, man?
You can find me everywhere at Primal Sabbath.
D?
I'm everywhere at Daltonian's TFs.
Rick, you're next.
Instagram, Twitter, Shatrdglassjazz.
Hello.
Hi. You can find me here on YouTube as Sportimus and on Twitter as Sportimus Prime.
All right, and you can find me at G1Xtron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages, the G1Xtron. So, all right, let's Caden, I'm only subbed to 2 of the 5 here. Well, look, man.
Thank you, Caden. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting Primal Sabbath.
Get in here.
I'm just assuming that it's me.
Didn't fix that, kid.
All right, so let's start off with best movies that you saw. I did TV shows a little bit different, and I'll kind of tell you how I personally did it. But best movies, your Mount Rushmore that you saw in 2018 that came out in 2018, and that these are the ones that, like, if people didn't get a good chance to go watch a whole lot of movies, these are the ones that you basically are recommending them to go Redbox or rent or buy whatever that if you're into the same stuff that we are, then these are probably good recommendations. So let's just keep on going the line. Primal, why don't you start off, man, and just name them all?
The thing. Like, I don't think I went and saw a whole bunch of movies this year. I saw I mean, Infinity War is at the top of that list, of course. Deadpool 2. How could I forget?
Is this a Marvel list?
Dude, pretty much. Like, I mean, like I said, man, I think I've probably only seen like 3 or 4 movies this year that came out this year. So, I guess by default, Black Panther and Once Upon a Deadpool. So
is that not the same as Deadpool 2?
It's got some different. It's like a different telling. Like, I went and saw it.
You got Deadpool 2 twice in your Mount Rushmore movies.
Yeah, I went and saw it a few nights ago. It's different. Like, it's different enough, I think. So that's why it's there.
Okay. You can also you guys that maybe saw more than 4 movies this year, if you want to say why you suggest those to the viewers.
Yeah.
Dakota or D, you're next. Same line.
So basically, same as Dakota, I didn't see a lot of movies this year. So I'm going to have to go Infinity War, Venom, Deadpool 2, and I can't remember what else I've seen this year.
Rick, remind me we're not starting with them again.
And,
No, we should start
and
strong.
Black Panther, it's Marvel.
Josh,
It's
you and I will
Marvel.
book in this.
I only went and seen Marvel movies this year.
That's the thing. I didn't even go see Venom. Like, that's just how much time I haven't spent at the movie theaters.
No, I didn't go and see it at the theater. I just bought it here the other day.
Oh,
All right, Rick, give us something good, and you can also say why.
Yeah, are we doing alternates at the end too? Because before you did the Rushmore thing, I listed I got at least 6. We doing alternates?
We can do that since we would probably have more. Yeah.
So we'll do alternates at the end. I'll give you 4 of them from my list now.
All right.
I put Ready Player One. I thought that was superbly pulled together as a concept, and I heard the book was good. My wife read the book. I haven't read the book, but as a movie, I went in, ground zero, and thought it was awesome. If you've ever played any video games, I feel like you might connect with this movie. Anyway, I loved it. The second one is a newer one. I know some of you guys haven't seen it, but I'm putting Bumblebee on this list. It gave me what I wanted out of a Transformers movie. And I think it's a good foundation for building upon the franchise without Michael Bay. I put in Avengers Infinity War because, let's face it, that was just fantastic. And the culmination of a lot of movies, a lot of time, a lot of years.
Yeah, man.
And the next one, I know not everybody likes the new World of Star Wars movie, but I enjoyed Solo. I've bought all the Black Series. I've supported it. At home, I ended up buying the 3D version. I love Solo. Thought it was.
See, I feel like had I watched it, I would have liked it too, Rick. But I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on it to go up on Netflix.
So those are 4. I've got a few more for alternates when we get there.
All right, Sport, what do you got?
Well, it's been a very Marvel-heavy year in terms of movies, so it shouldn't be any surprise that I enjoyed a lot The Avengers, and at number 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and number 3 flew out of my head.
Must have been a great movie.
Yeah, it was so good, I forgot all about it. Oh well, I
thought y'all would write these down. This is why I sent the list of questions out.
I know,
prior.
And I'm sorry about that. Oh, jeez.
First show in 4 months, and we're just bombing.
Oh, Ralph wrecks the internet.
I've been curious to see that. I just recently watched the first one, and I was on, TV, and I was like, hey, you know what? That was pretty good. It kind of felt like The Incredibles, to where it was like, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun movie.
Do you have a 4th? It's Mount Rushmore. You have to have 4.
Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I like that one more than the first one.
Well, that really could be your alternate, Dalton, because you already gone. All right. We're gonna start from now on. We're gonna start with Rick, and then I'll end, and we'll let you guys go in the middle.
Oh my god,
that'll work.
All right, so that way, because we usually didn't let Dalton do that because he would just start picking ours.
That was an honest answer. I wasn't stealing anything.
All right, so I also named Ready Player One because I like gaming, and I thought it brought a lot of different stuff together. I thought that the plot and story, was done well, and I like the mix, with the CGI. I thought looked really good as well, and it was really fun. I was sitting there watching it, and it was funny because I was on a blind date too, and I just completely ignored her because I was just like, "Oh, there's Bigfoot. Oh, there's a DeLorean, and there's this." And
nerd.
Blind date, all right. Didn't even look at her.
Yeah. So, man, I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. The next one that I listed, Solo. Again, I'm like Rick, like I didn't, because I'm not someone that's just like, oh, all Star Wars are just awesome, like they can't do any wrong, because I've voiced many times that The Last Jedi is terrible. I hate that movie. So I'm just not all in on all Star Wars, but I mean, Solo, it was no Rogue One as far as kind of a side, movie, but it's Han Solo. It's basically like a Western in space, I like that. So, and then another one that I named was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I like the first Jurassic World. I like the way that they've been rebooting it. And I thought Fallen Kingdom, I think I liked it even more than the first one. So I put that in there. And one that probably is going to be one of Rick's alternates is the Mission Impossible Fallout. I thought that was the best Mission Impossible, even though I thought Rogue Nation was good too. But the connection with that of Rogue Nation together seemed like it went together, like it was how movies are doing. Hey, here's, Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows, Part 1 and Part 2. Like they're this, it's kind of this, it was kind of like a one long movie, and it was just a Part 1 and Part 2. So I thought they went really well together, and I like that. Yeah, so that was my list. I guess alternates. You want me to go ahead and name those? I haven't seen this, but I know Aquaman's going to be up there.
Oh yeah.
And I watched a movie last night, Bad Times at the
El Royale.
Yeah,
That looks pretty good.
I was interested in that movie because I was like, the previews are really not giving me very much, but it looks interesting from what I was picking up on it, and it's one of those movies to where it shows you what happens. Like there's the beginning, and there's some funny stuff in there, and something happens, an event happens, and then it shows you perspectives of each person when that event happens. Then so it's like, here's this person, here's what's going on with them, and then it goes with the other person. So even if someone dies, they come back because they're now part of the movie again, because it's showing from someone else's perspective. And I like movies like that. I think they're interesting. So
Very Tarantino.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alternates.
Yep.
I'll go for alternates. Definitely Mission Impossible, because I wanted to see it at the theater. It just came out at a weird time and wasn't able to see it. So I just watched it a few weeks ago, and I thought I agree with Josh. I think it's like the best one. And the last movie combined with this movie make for a really good, solid, long story. And Tom Cruise, man,
Does that guy age?
Man, people don't give him enough credit, man. He is pretty amazing at doing what, that thing that he does. So
it's all that Scientology.
Like the new Dick Clark, doesn't age.
I don't know, man. He's pretty amazing. And then I'm into my horror movies, and I can't let like Halloween go by and not say Halloween. My wife and I had such a good time with that. We love horror movies, but that one just felt like, it had so much power behind it, because Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, it's crazy that she hasn't turned her back on horror, and she had a great performance. I thought that was a good, iconic horror movie. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I really couldn't get too into it. Like, I went to see it. It's not overall. I would say, yeah, it was a decent movie, but I don't know. Like, I felt like they picked the worst actors for the kids, because like all those actors had like mom hands and dad hands. It just wasn't believable.
Mom hands and dad hands. Well, I was happy that they didn't put like Coolio or LL Cool J or Busta Rhymes or something in it, because the last few Halloweens they were bringing in rappers in the movie. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. And they just went with, as far as marketing, Jamie Lee Curtis is back. She does what she does, and Michael Myers is back. So the last one, I just watched Aquaman like 2 days ago, and I thought it was fantastic. And maybe once it sits with me a little longer, it would make my top 4. It was a hard call, but I put Ready Player One barely above it. But Ready Player One was I'm not going to say it's a brand new idea. It was just an idea that was really well done. So it tipped out Aquaman just by a hair.
And the rest of you guys haven't seen more than 4 movies, so.
Well,
Yeah, I forgot about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I did see Ready Player One. I can never remember what year like some of the stuff comes out. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
I had that problem too.
So.
I thought it came out last year.
Yeah, I thought so too for some reason. I don't know.
I think it was March or April.
It was
I've
early.
seen a ton of movies this year, but like I was just trying to get like that 4 there. So I've forgotten a lot of the ones that I've seen. But
Well, I mean, I like Black Panther a lot. It's just I didn't really connect too much with the character. The movie itself was good. It's just it's a character I really didn't know too much about.
yeah, Black Panther is kind of like Ant-Man to me. Like I saw both of those. It's like I didn't have those action figures when I was young, so like I really don't care about the characters. Like Iron Man, I never had his character, and I just don't care about Iron Man. I did have Captain America and Doctor Doom, so I'm like, man, I kind of like them, you know, and I can enjoy their stuff. But I guess that's the way I kind of connect to it. Is like, is this something that I've kind of known for a long time, like X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, and stuff?
Yeah, and even as a movie, I remember I watched Black Panther. I was like, wow, that was really good. But it wasn't as good as like Infinity War. I mean, it wasn't as good. I just didn't think
Infinity War isn't getting an Emmy or Oscar or whatever.
Golden Globe, yeah.
Like, God, they give so many awards. There's like a different award show every 3 months. Those actors need pats on the back more than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah. I enjoy him as part of the overall scene, you know, like Infinity War when everybody gets together and fights the battle as a team. I really enjoy that.
I feel like that's what Black Panther really like. I feel like that was its purpose, was to set the stage for the battlefield in Infinity War, and that's why I really appreciate it.
And the technology, I like the idea that the technology, some of it is coming out of other places other than Tony Stark's lab, you know. I like that idea. So, yeah, that makes sense, Dakota.
He gave Bucky an arm.
Yeah.
So.
Made of vibranium.
Yeah, and I guess as an alternate, like Infinity War, you know, I did enjoy that. I did think it was good. So, you know, I'm not just going to be like, oh, hating on Marvel or anything like that. I thought it was good.
I've seen like a lot of stuff saying like, oh, the movie scene this year sucked. But dude, what are people's expectations? I feel like, I mean, I go to the movies a lot and we see a lot of different movies, but I felt like this was a pretty good movie year. I mean,
well, the first half was the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, blew our load all that for the year, and then the rest just kind of.
And I guess it depends.
I go to the movies every Sunday after football's over. I call that my off season. That's where every Sunday I go to a movie, the earliest showing on Sunday, then I go eat lunch, and then I come home and play video games because I can do what I want. So,
but my 2 alternates would have to be Pacific Rim Uprising and The Incredibles 2. The only reason they didn't quite make it is because Uprising wasn't the best movie. A lot of people hated it. I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I mean, there are a lot of movies I enjoyed.
Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was better than the first one. I liked it.
I like the first one better. It delves more into the lore.
Oh, that's the thing. I didn't go see Pacific Rim for a story. I definitely went to go see it for.
Yeah, I went to go see them like enjoy some stuff.
You get that establishment of it, like.
Yeah.
What happened?
There are some movies where it's like I'm going out, I want to be told a really good story and see some cool effects, and then there's some stuff where I'm like, I know what I'm here for. Like when I went to go see the Venom movie when it saw in theaters, I knew exactly what I was signing up for. Like some people were expecting like something, you know, I don't know, something more grand. I'm like, one, it's PG-13, so I don't know what they're gonna do whenever they're gonna introduce Carnage into this because it's not gonna be no PG-13. You know, like that's got to be like NR rating or something. So,
usually when I watch movies during the year, I'll come out with a few that I absolutely just disliked. This year, the only one that I can say that I truly like hated, because usually I don't hate stuff, but I hated Predator. The Predator or whatever.
I didn't like the Predator.
It was just a garbage movie.
Do you know one that it was stupid, and it was another movie that I went into knowing that this is going to be stupid, but I wanted to see some kind of like the Meg with Jason Statham with the shark.
Right.
I knew it was going to be stupid, and
like B movie.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that did exactly what I thought it was supposed to do. It wasn't supposed to be like some huge blockbuster, but it was supposed to be like, okay, that's kind of scary because I'm terrified of sharks. I've said many times the scariest movie to me is Jaws because sharks actually exist.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Carudo's here as well. He says people will complain for the sake of complaining, and the only good Predator movie is the first one with Arnold in it. I agree with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch Predator 2, like if I haven't seen it in a long time. If I'm just, I can watch it.
Yeah.
And know that okay, this is not going to be. I know it's not Predator 1 but I mean, Predator 2 is still better than everything after it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's go into TV shows. So I did something a little bit different. I'm not gonna say that I would say one of these is kind of a big show, but like I didn't get on here and be like Walking Dead, like because I wanted to make this also like here's some shows that you might not have heard of. Or
I've got a few of those in my list actually.
Yeah, I really suggest you give them a try because I think that they're fantastic. So I didn't be like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and
in the world of Netflix too, like there's so many Netflix originals out there.
Yeah, Stranger Things. So I didn't do that. So
I guess I'll go first.
You got some good ones? Go.
So, Damnation, which is on Netflix, very interesting. It takes place in like the 1930s, I think, 1930s, 1940s, during the Great Depression. It's basically about this preacher who used to be a like I don't want to say a strike breaker, but his brother is a strike breaker, and they used to like work for their dad and get people off of land for big industrial companies and bankers and things like that by any means necessary. And anyways, it shows him like turning his life as a preacher and leading a farmers strike in Iowa, and it's really good. It's very interesting. Definitely worth taking a look at. I don't know. I get with it being on its third season. I guess I would consider it because I did just check it out this year. The Last Kingdom, which is also on Netflix.
Oh, you took one of mine.
Yeah, man.
They're getting to season 4 announced today.
Oh, they did. Oh man, it's so great. Like I haven't finished season 3 yet, but like
season 3 is the best one.
Yeah, dude. I've loved it all the way to where I'm at. So, The Gifted season 2, because I'm a big X-Men fan, and I like seeing some love, over in that realm of Marvel stuff, even though it's like still on Fox. But like seeing Polaris and Thunderbird and
Blink.
all those other characters. Yeah, Blink. So that was a third one. And I don't know if it was this year or not. I was turned on to it this year. But Godless, which is a Western on Netflix. So pretty good.
See, I haven't watched much of anything this year, so I'll just go what I've been just catching what I can. So, Flash, Arrow, definitely Voltron, and Legends of Tomorrow.
You like that CW stuff, huh?
The TV shows.
The watered down DC stuff. Have you tried Titans yet?
I've not.
The Batman.
Get ready because I'm about to talk the shit out of it.
I'm like, what am I? I'm on episode 7, I think. So.
Who's going? Me?
Yeah,
Who's going?
I really enjoyed Voltron, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, Rick.
All right. Yeah, well, we're talking about Voltron because he just said Voltron. So I still think that show is how you do, if you're going to do a reboot or a classic toy and do it right, I think Voltron is the perfect example of like an animated show with, it's hitting on all cylinders. Did I love every episode? No. But overall, was it fantastic? Yes. So Voltron's on there easily. And then thought Daredevil season 3 had everything. I binged the heck out of that. I'm not sure if I left my chair for like the first 6 hours, other than I think I peed once. Like, you know, by the time I got up, I mean, it was crazy, man. I loved Bullseye. I loved, and you know, I read the Frank Miller. I'm old enough where I read like the Frank Miller Daredevil stuff in middle school and high school. So I got to see the introduction of Elektra in comics and Bullseye and all that stuff. And I love it, right? I got some of that stuff AFA graded, kind of, or, you know, comic graded. I love those books. But I have an open mind to other versions as well. And I thought the guy, I don't know the actor's name, but I thought his Bullseye was like ridiculous good.
Yeah.
So Daredevil's on there.
Sadistic.
And then Titans is on there. And I feel like at least the last 2 months since it's, you know, I guess it's launched in November, but I feel like it's like the best show that people aren't watching, and I understand like it's another streaming service. It's like an $8.40 you know, charge to your card every month or whatever. But they got a lot of stuff planned, and I liked the DC universe enough to do it. So I think Titans is the best show, period, currently.
See, I'm thinking about just waiting for all of the Titans episodes to come out, and then just pay the $8.
Oh, you're ready
for a month, and then just cancel it and wait again.
Well, you're ready because Friday the finale was on. So yeah, go ahead and put that $8.40 up. But
you do 7 days free. Yeah.
Again, and it's not, you know, these are characters that like Dick Grayson, like everybody kind of, you know, knows about Robin and Nightwing, and it's not exactly the version that you might know. It might be a little bit of that version, but it might be a little something new. I'm up for like new stuff. I'm cool with like how they translate things. I'm glad Jeff Johns is behind the scenes on this, and I can feel his presence. Like if you've been reading DC,
so
you can feel this.
Can you confirm for me if Starfire looks like a $2 hooker for the entire series?
Oh,
well, I'm not
until at least episode 7. That's as far as I've made it.
Okay.
I saw there's not controversy, but people that were on Facebook whenever DC advertises, and people in the comments are like, I've not watched it because of Starfire. And some people took that as because she was cast as a black female, where I
see that doesn't bother me at all. She looks like a hooker.
No, I saw very few of that, but that, of course, that's what gets blown up, like, you know, like, oh, this is whatever.
Yeah.
What most people are mad about is the fact that she's not orange, because the whole thing is like she could be cast as any race because she's supposed to be orange, you know, the entire time, you know. It's so that, and also like her outfit, to where she does look like a hooker, you know, to where it's like even whenever she walks in there, like into the whatever the nun place, and the nun looks her up and down like, are you serious? Are you for real?
Yeah, I mean, so you got to get past. It's not going to be exactly like the comic book, right? But, and I don't want to spoil anything either, because they do near the end. You're going to get some more Starfire stuff. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I don't know if you'll ever get the orange Starfire. So if you're looking to that, and that's the thing keeping you from watching the show, you're better off like go doing your thing and playing Fortnite and whatever you need to do. But like, but you got to give it a chance and just watch it. Story-wise, though, it works. Like I didn't buy into it at first. I was against it. I watched a few episodes, and it's still kind of, as the one little thing I could nitpick, that's probably the thing I'd nitpick. But by about mid-season, you start to just buy into the actors on the show are really good. Everybody kind of pulls their weight. And it doesn't feel like a CW show. And it's hard to put that into quick words, but it's definitely darker. It's definitely darker, but it's also, I think the actors are just a little bit better. And like I said, you can tell that there's some like a Jeff Johns behind the scenes making sure the stuff is right. They introduce other characters in there. I don't want to spoil stuff, but I mean, I'm sure people have heard Hawk and Dove are in it. Doom Patrol make an appearance. And Doom Patrol is going to be on in February. The Doom Patrol season starts to drop. So, and then January, like I think like what, 2 weeks from now, the Young Justice season 3 drops. So anyway, I love Titans.
I need all at one time. I don't need y'all to be giving me one episode a week.
Yeah, I'd like to binge it too. We've gotten used to binging now, so it's hard not to want to do that. My last one is outside of the comic book. So my wife and I watch on Netflix, and there's been 2 seasons of this, 13 Reasons Why. Just stick with me for a second. It's a high school drama, and it's controversial as hell.
It is.
It all centers around a girl that commits suicide in high school, and before she dies, she makes. I'm just giving you in the nutshell, like a quick little preview. She makes a bunch of tapes, and each tape is about a person that kind of brought her to this place where she felt like there was no way out, and everything kind of unravels.
I'll be honest, man. I watched both seasons too. I watched the first season just to see what it was all about, and like I saw the second season come out, I was like, okay, Like,
yeah, we binged it like we would binge like Daredevil or Voltron. So we binged it pretty hard. So I would say if you haven't checked that out, it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
What about you, Sportimus?
Well, in no particular order, Voltron would have to definitely be on this list. I always enjoyed every single episode of this series. It's everything I would want in a reboot. It's something that I wish they would have done with She-Ra, but we won't get into that. So I really dig it, and I'm going to miss it once it's done. But that's definitely one of my favorite animated shows of this year, and probably a long time. Secondly, would be Supernatural. I've been following that show for 13 seasons now, I think.
Wow.
It's 13 or 14.
14. I think it's 14 now. But anyway, man, I mean, that's my favorite kind of, I don't want to call it a horror show, but, it's just one of those supernatural monster-ish type of stuff that I really dig, and to think that it almost failed in its first season, turned around and lasted over a decade, it's pretty impressive. Daredevil, that's gone now though, but I enjoyed that thoroughly. And Arrow. I sort of springboarded from Smallville, and then when Arrow started, I just naturally progressed into that, and I've been hooked. But it is kind of wearing down on me.
Yeah, I've got a lot of catching up to do.
I finally caught up this last week. I'm finally up to date.
Let's see. Caryuta says Castlevania season 1 and 2 were great. I've seen season 1. I haven't seen
season 2. Yeah, I haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, I haven't got to see it.
Let's see. And he says hasn't watched Voltron. Only made the 3rd season. Man,
I just binged 5 seasons of it.
It's great, man. Just stick with it.
It's great, but what I hate is the inconsistency. You'll have 4 episodes, and they call it a season.
Well,
a few more than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
usually 8 to 10.
It's really, really short for a season.
The first season of Castlevania was short, but the second season, I think, they doubled the episodes, which is nice.
Yeah, I think they did that with the last 2 seasons of Voltron. They went from 8.
Yeah, but they are also giving it to us 3 times a year.
Yeah, which is amazing.
I think that was key to our enjoyment. I really do. I think if they had done 10 episodes and then you wait a year to get 10 more, I don't know if it would have been.
I think it would have died down more.
Yeah,
me too.
People would lose interest too fast.
Yeah, we're a different culture now than we used to be. So
I mean, I would still watch. We would still watch it, but the main target that they were after, and it's easy to binge it. They come out with 6-7 episodes for a season, every 4 months, and they're only 22-minute episodes. So it's one of those things you're like, man, I can tackle this in a couple of hours. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
So,
and it kind of worries me about Orville because I love Orville. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. It's like
I've heard of it.
Star Trek type of a spoof.
The Seth MacFarlane one.
Yeah, and it's like season 1 was an excellent season, got great ratings and everything else, and season 2 is not starting until end of December of this year. They had a whole year without a season, so I'm hoping
it's on most network TV though, so it's a different. That's a traditional.
Yeah, hopefully people haven't forgotten it or lost interest in it.
Yeah. See, I've stopped watching network TV.
Yeah.
See, Kane says I watched Supergirl and The Flash, and Carita says Star Trek Discovery. He watched. I started that. I never finished.
That's not real Star Trek, but okay.
All right, so on to my list. These are one was named already. The Last Kingdom. Excellent. So I mean, it's basically swords and shields and arrows and kings and Vikings and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's not just battles.
What's this on, Josh?
This is on Netflix, Last Kingdom, because it was a BBC first season, and then Netflix picked it up season 2, and then season 3, and then they just confirmed today they're going to do a season 4. So, so 2 of us have said The Last Kingdom.
Cool.
The 2 of us that disagree the most.
Yeah, just absolutely love The Last Kingdom.
What happened?
Man. Another show.
The world is ending as we know it.
It's a Netflix show, The Ozarks. So this one's got Jason Bateman in it, and I think it's his best performance of any job that he's ever done before. Basically, he is in a business with his business partner, and they are money launderers, and his business partner actually decides to take some of that money and doesn't inform Jason Bateman's character to where the cartel come in, murder him. They're going to murder him too until he just comes up, because the business partner was going to run away to the Ozarks and have that pamphlet. He goes, I got this great idea, before you kill me. The Ozarks, there's so much money and cash business there that I could flip and make all this money. They give him like, hey, you got like 6 months we expect like all this millions of dollars. And he's trying to put it all together, because then you find out there's this redneck family that's got their hands in everything that's dirty. There's also a big opium dealer that's like, hey, if you're trying to do this with money, then it's got to go through me. And there's a lot of things going on. And also, you end up, it's not really a spoiler because you find out really early on, his family's in on it too. Like his kids know about it and everything. So the whole family's in on the money laundering.
Wow.
And then you got the FBI after him, and it's just, it's crazy and it's fun. I love the Ozarks. Really good show. So they just had season 2 like a couple months ago, so it wouldn't take you long to catch up on that. Vikings, that's on History Channel. I think they just started part 2 of season 5, and season 1 it's kind of slow because it's developing all the different characters and the relationships and things like that. And you see some time jumps, especially with his children and stuff. So, but Vikings is amazing. I didn't think that History Channel could do a TV show like that, but it's on like that same par with like The Last Kingdom. I like them both up there, even though they're very similar. They're in different times. So, in the 4th one, I went with, this one's probably a little bit more well known. Westworld.
Oh man, yeah, I was waiting.
No spoilers. No spoilers on season 2. I don't.
I
didn't think they could do it, but season 2 is better than 1.
I canceled my my HBO subscription until Game of Thrones came back, and I planned on catching up on season 2 of Westworld.
Oh man,
yeah, I need to watch it too.
Hey Rick, check your DMs.
So I mean, I had some other ones in there that were kind of, I guess you could say, alternates, like Voltron. Obviously, love that show. If you ever watch Breaking Bad, they have the prequel series.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. I think
Yeah.
it's better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
So,
Rick, you like that?
all right, I'll change it to 43. Mike, thanks for joining us. Let's see. I mean, I watch a bunch of TV shows. Like, I mean, there's like the common ones. Like I watch, South Park and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Chicago PD and Fire. Those are like, well, kind of everyone watches those things. But you guys have any other ones that maybe some stuff that maybe people haven't heard of? Suggest.
Nothing too like fringe or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to best games of this year.
This is another incredibly short list for me because the only new game that I bought this year was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I wanted to buy Red Dead 2, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I know Odyssey is going to take up at least the next 6 months of my life. So I'll get Red Dead when it's on sale, and I'm done with it. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey has been a lot of fun. Like, I haven't really progressed anywhere in the story, but it's a point in history that I really like, and it's just been a lot of fun.
I've been thinking about picking that up.
Yeah, it's great, man. And like it's more RPG now, where the decisions you make and the responses that you make have long-term consequences throughout so it's like you can go back and make choices you didn't make the first time for a different outcome. And apparently there's 3 key moments of choices you have to make that determine how much of an extra of an ending I think that the game has. It's really awesome. It's very, very unique, man. They add, you're getting for the $60-$70, however much it costs, you're getting your absolute money's worth. It's like the days of, beating and completing Assassin's Creed games in 2 weeks is long gone.
I just got burnt out. I played the first 2 Assassin's Creed and a little bit of Black Flag, and I got burnt out. It was like climb this tower, jump off into the hay. There's
still some.
I got
of
burned
that.
out.
Yeah, there's still some of that, but it serves a purpose now with the maps being so big and fast travel being a commodity. So you want to make sure you get those points. So whenever you do have to go to a place that's close, you're not stuck, footing it the entire way. So I mean, it still has that, but as far as assassinations go, finding a target, so far it's been different. I don't think it's given me any actual mission-based targets. It's just go find these guys out in the world, and you have to find clues on different ones, and you have to look in cities for different clues to get to different guys. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of kind of detective work. It's more realistic, I think, than just saying, okay, here's my contract, and now I gotta go take them out or whatever.
That's the only one?
Yeah, man, that's the only new one. I mean, I played a bunch of Halo this year, but I mean, Halo's 2 or 3 years old, so
yeah, I'm kind of the same with Overwatch. I just got it this year, but it's been out for 3 years or something like that.
I haven't gotten any new games this year.
No board games either.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Dalton.
I figured
Dude,
you'd be one of the ones that bought a lot.
No, I bought a lot of older games.
Yeah. Well, my list is pretty short too. So
I'm ready to be done with Halo 5. That's all I got to say.
Oh, really? Didn't like it? Didn't care for it?
This grind that I'm doing.
He sucks at multiplayer, and you can get in a Spartan company, and if your company gets 100% kill commendations, you get a special set of armor, and it's the only way you can get it. It's the coolest looking armor in the game. And me and our friend Tyler did it, and then Dalton was like,
4 months ago.
He was like, I don't care about that. And then finally we talked him into joining the second Spartan company that our company put together, and now he's been doing the grind. So he's been
And feeling the rage.
Yeah.
All right,
Smash my controller.
I've got a short list, so I'll go real quick. I only bought 3 games this year. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I bought that and played through that like I usually do. I binged the hell out of Tomb Raider. And I played every one. Like I'm probably just going to, until I die, I'll be playing Tomb Raider.
I want that game so bad. Yeah,
I think keep on making them as good as they have these past 3. Then
yeah, man. I was going to say for the last 3 games, I can't put it down. Like once you start, like I know I've got to like go live life, but it's real hard. But this year I definitely read a lot more comic books and stuff like that than games.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Tomb Raider. I loved it. And then I bought. I always buy the WWE 2K like 19. I played all of them, and I'm addicted to that particular game. And now my kid can play it, so we're both like playing that. And then I bought, I don't know if this counts, I bought like the Kingdom Hearts. It's got all the Kingdom Hearts on it because I'm ready for the 3rd one. I think it comes out in January. But
yeah, I need to get those.
Bought that, and that was it. Those are the only 3. Like I said, I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts. I wish it had come out while I was on like vacation here in December, so I could play through that a little bit because I know it's going to be a major time sucker, but it looks amazing. I can't believe it's taken this long to get a new Kingdom Hearts on the systems that aren't new anymore. But
yeah,
I guess But
real quick, Caruto says Final Fantasy 15 and Mega Man 11,
yeah,
and Sonic Mania.
I heard that one was pretty good.
Cool. What do you got, Sport?
Well, I recently got the Nintendo Switch. That's my newest system. And the only games I have for it are 3, which is basically The Legend of Zelda, Death in the Wild. I just recently got Super Smash Brothers. And I've got an older game, which is the Mario Odyssey. So I've been enjoying those.
How's a Zelda? Have you played through all the Zeldas?
No, I like the game. I just haven't had enough time to really sit down and seriously tackle it.
Yeah.
It's the first Zelda game I've played since the original, so it's night and day for me, But
gotcha.
I'm so far enjoying the Switch. I still want to get a PS4 or Xbox One, but it's kind of refreshing to just go a different route this time around.
For me, the game of the year, God of War. That game is amazing.
Dude, every time I think about picking up a PlayStation, like whatever the newest PlayStation is, it's because of God of War.
I still haven't bought it. I need to buy it.
Dude, God of War is amazing. That's my brother. I'm letting him. He's basically like renting. He's not paying me any money, but like I let him check out one video game at a time. So right now he's playing Horizon Zero Dawn, but I think the next one I'm going to push him towards is probably God of War.
All right, so I know I'm going to get cash, Josh. I know I'm going to get some Christmas cash. If I can,
I'm cheap too,
and I'm off next week. Like I could probably knock most of that game out.
No.
How about Red Dead? The 2 of them together. Finish your list, and then I want to talk like what should I spend my money on? Because I'm serious.
Because if you want to spend your money on Red Dead, we can make a deal.
He didn't like it. I'm surprised.
Tomb Raider,
man.
Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That was probably my second favorite game that I bought. That actually came out in 2018. There was a lot of stuff that kind of had my eye on. Like I put on here Spider-Man. That like I know that that's a good game, and I haven't played it yet. I want to, but I was waiting for the price to go down on it. A game that I'm playing that came out this year. Because a lot of stuff that I play, like I just reinstalled Titanfall 2 a couple days ago. I haven't played that in like almost a year. And
I love that game. Yeah.
Dude, I just went in there and just started wrecking on people, just like I never even left. And I like Overwatch. I play that a lot. I play the crap out of Borderlands 2 because I'm just sitting there like I want Borderlands 3 so bad that I'm just fiending for it. Where I'm like, all right, let me play with this thing like for the 100th time.
Mm-hmm.
So and Dying Light, So I mean, anyways, we'll get into some games that I'm looking forward to, I guess, later. But
Nice.
Onrush is free if you have PlayStation Plus. It's a racing game, but it's a racing game like no other. So it's not you start here and then it's who crosses the finish line first. It's you're staying as a pack. You have a team, you stay as a pack, and there's different classes. So you got bikes and you got like these rammer cars, you got booster cars, and then you got like Titans and Spartans, which are like Hummers and stuff like that. And
Sweet.
You got another team. They're picking the same. There's different game modes, and then there are like these little just kind of minion type vehicles, and you just smash into them, and you're trying to smash into the other team, get boosts. So like one of them is who can get the most boost through a round. Other one is like little checkpoints, and you have supers. Where they do like different abilities and stuff, but it's just about just smashing the other team and don't let them
Are you
smash
talking about
you.
Smite?
No, I played Smite. I'm talking about a racing game.
Oh, I was gonna say because
Onrush.
like everything you were talking about, I was like, man, that sounds a lot like Smite. Talking about getting supers and
Titans and Spartans.
It's kind of like I was telling someone, it reminds me of like a racing game for like Overwatch, kind of, where there's different classes and supers and stuff like that. And abilities. So but yeah, really fun. It's Rick, I suggest it to you because one, it's free, and then second, it's something that even like your kid could go on there, and even if it's not Mario Kart, but they can go in there and play just like I guess the computer and pick what level they want and everything, and just go in there and just as long as they're just running into different cars, which is probably easy for younger kids to do, then they're actually doing the objective.
Yeah.
They're actually doing a good job. So it's fun. Me and my buddies, we play ranked and stuff like that. So I like that game.
Who do you think had the best year for games in terms of consoles?
Well, like since Dakota likes to always go to the finances whenever he talks about Marvel and DC as far as movies, so I'll just keep it at finances. PS4 crushed everyone else.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they had a lot more. They have a lot more like current exclusive titles. I don't think there was really anything Xbox exclusive that came out this year.
Because you didn't have a Halo.
I definitely felt slighted. I have an Xbox, and I honestly like it. Sometimes because I've gotten so used to PS4, sometimes I turn it on and just using it as a hub for anything else, streaming or whatever. I hate doing it because PS4 is kind of melded with me at this point. I like the controller. I like that whole hub, how it operates. And because
the PlayStation controller is just too small.
Because Xbox didn't have any games, it makes it real easy to go to PS4. They didn't put out any exclusive games.
And then you also got to remember, like, Activision is like nuts to butts with PlayStation. So any Activision title,
they used to be with Xbox,
right? And I was gonna say, like, any Activision title that comes out, it's gonna have a ton of PS exclusive content.
Yeah, the DLCs and stuff come out like a month in advance.
Yeah, they come out earlier, and like I don't know, like. Then again, like I don't play. There's not a whole lot in my video game wheelhouse that I'm gonna go after. Like, like I played Destiny 2 until it just pissed me off. I heard they fixed a lot of it that I had issues with, but I'm still not going back because I'm just done. I'm done with Activision and I'm done with Bungie. A Halo game comes out once every 3 or 4 years.
I know.
But typically when it does, man, it kills.
I enjoy Halo too, but it's tough. Like during those 3 or 4 years, I'm glad I got my PS4.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's why I'm glad. Like like Assassin's Creed is a is something that I can fall back on. That's a a faithful thing for me.
Yeah.
Anything like Red Dead or whatever Elder Scrolls thing comes out. Like I haven't played Elder Scrolls since the original Skyrim ship, so like that's been something that's wherever it is. But like Assassin's Creed, like Origins held me over from the time I got it until I got Odyssey, and I got Odyssey like 2 or 3 weeks after it shipped. So Origins lasted me a long time. I think Odyssey is also going to last me a long time. So like I just don't. There's not a whole lot video game wise that I go after anymore. I don't play COD. I'm just not a Call of Duty guy.
I'm not anymore either.
Yeah, it's just like it's too much like Destiny at this point. Like
If they remaster Black Ops 1, I'll get on that and I'll play that all the time.
Well, I mean, they remastered my favorite Call of Duty, but they attached it to another Call of Duty that I had to buy, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't know. Like I said, man, I'm over Activision at this point. Like, I just don't, I don't care. But then there's like, Ubisoft. They're doing Assassin's Creed. They also, did the South Park games. I still need to buy the Fractured Butthole.
Oh, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, like I played Stick of Truth and I loved it, so I know I'm really gonna enjoy Fractured Butthole.
Itching for that, aren't you?
Yeah. So,
and I mean, PlayStation, they're gonna have a lot of exclusives next year too. I mean, The Last of Us is coming out.
That looks fantastic.
See, that's what I'm looking forward to most is Anthem.
Tsushima.
The play mechanics for Last of Us, though, man, like, and it blows me away when like a game like levels up to that point where you're like, I gotta play. There's no way I won't buy that game. I want more of that. Like, I wish Xbox had that. If they had that even once a year, I'd feel like I was getting, like a good, like, kind of exclusive title that just ups the game a little bit. And I feel like that Last of Us, from the gameplay that I've seen, it looks like it does that.
I'm just biding my time, playing like all these different games that I have until February 22nd when Anthem drops.
Yes, dude.
Dude, I am all in that.
That's gonna be tough because I love playing Assassin's Creed, but dude, when Anthem comes out, like I'm gonna be taking a break from Odyssey for sure. And I have no doubts that I'll still be playing Odyssey in February.
Dude, we're already ramping up the clan. Like, all right, everybody's ready. Right, 2 months. Like, we're just gonna go in there and destroy everybody.
And it's supposed to be like massive multiplayer online too, if I remember correctly.
Is it going to be?
I believe it's going to be open world MMO style. Like that's what I gathered from it. But I mean, either way, dude, I'm super pumped for Anthem. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. I remember reading a bunch on like some of the open world mechanics, how like no one encounter is going to be the same or whatever. So I dig it.
Yeah, that's one I'm gonna have to check out in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Yeah, I watched some video footage of that, and I'm like, let's see when they clean it up. Okay, so I wanted to get also into Red Dead 2 because I do have that, and I played it the way I want to be in the Wild West, and that was, you talk some shit to me, then I'm gonna shoot you. And also that one incident where they sent me on this mission to collect like $5 or something, which I guess that's I don't know how much that was back then. What was that, like $100 or something? Yeah. So anyways, they sent me off for $5. They're like, all right, go get it from this guy. He owes it, or she owes it to you anyway. And she's like, well, he has it. I was like, all right, well, give me the money. And then he wants to get in a fist fight with me. So I get in a fist fight and I knock him out. And then some like random passerby says like murderer and takes off. I'm going to go tell the sheriff. I'm like, well, I didn't murder this dude. For one, he owed me money and he didn't give it. And he hit me first. So I'm going to go chase this guy. Well, I ended up like chasing and running over him to where like he ends up like hitting his head on a wagon or something. And then he dies.
You killed him.
Yeah, I was just trying to basically I trampled over him. So he ends up hitting his head and he dies. And I'm like, oh, well, shit. So I was like, let me hide this dude's body. And
he was right.
And then these two people on horseback, they stop and it does a little alert thing. And then they start taking off. Let's go get the sheriff. I'm like, oh, shit,
gotta kill them too.
So I went on my horse and I went and shot them down. A couple other people coming into town, they saw me and they were going in. And then obviously everyone in this little town, which wasn't huge. There was about 35 people there, but I had to kill them all. I killed all of them.
after you've killed half of the Wild West just to cover up one murder.
After the last
whole thing,
a knockout.
$5 where he could have just paid me. So I ended up killing like 35 people. And,
over $5.
And then I didn't even have time I was like, well, I might as well loot their bodies. Well, by that time, the sheriff, he came in like, I think there was probably I don't know, maybe 10 or 12. Like I killed a lot of people. So there was about 10 or 12 sheriffs with rifles on horseback, and I'm still like new into it. So I got like all the standard stuff that you start the game off with. So I don't have any of the upgrades. And they're firing with like scopes from long range, and I'm trying. So I evade them. I kill a bunch of them, and then I go somewhere else. And then I have bounty hunters on me. So every time I try to go on a mission, I have bounty hunters on me, or I got to go pay this like $300,000 fine, which I like in real money. How much is that? You know, and I'm
probably a couple million.
Yeah, I'm like $300,000 fine. I've got like. I'm still where it's like, oh, I got $105. Like that's a crap load of money. I can upgrade my medical camp, you know, or something like that. And they're asking for 300,000. Well, then when the bounty hunters caught up to me in another county, I ended up having to kill a bunch of them. So then I got like a 250,000 thing over there, and they ended up finally tracking me down and cornering me, and they killed my horse that I fully upgraded. That was the only thing that I had upgraded at that point.
Oh man!
And then
that's what I hate is like that the horse can die.
Or the horse.
Like, I mean, I get it, but yeah.
So it's that to where like, hey, you need to go pay this money, or these people are going to keep on coming after you while you're trying to do these missions. So I was like, well, I can't get that money because I need to do the missions to get the money, but you won't quit sending these people after me, you know.
I just think it's funny that the first kill was a mistake and everything snowballed to hell after that.
I see. You know what? This sounds like one of those stories that like people are like in real life, where they're like, look, it was all a misunderstanding, but like 40 people ended up having to die for it, you know. So there's that. I have no way to pay the bounty money back because I can't do missions without them tracking me down. Plus, I upgraded my horse. I had to sit there every time I'm riding. I'm sitting there petting them the entire time and feeding them carrots and stuff. And I don't give a shit about the horse. I care about how much time I had to put into him. But you got to brush him and feed him and make sure he's happy. Then when you get back to camp, you're like, okay, I need to rest because your player can get tired. And then everybody's at camp. They're like, we're really hungry. You know, I'm like, you know what?
There's I'm all out of carrots because I've been petting my horse for about 4 hours.
I'm trying to get them to rank 2 because they killed my other one.
My Little Pony side mission.
It's like I was telling them, it's like doing chores. There's so much little things where I don't want to do that. I just want to go out there and do the missions and kill a bunch of people. I want to be a bad guy, you know?
Well, you were a bad guy. Kill the whole town.
Yeah, and I can't even play the game now. So I'm gonna. I haven't played it since then. Like this was before they went with multiplayer, so I haven't played multiplayer. My friends are like, "Dude, play multiplayer with us." I'm like, "Dude, I uninstalled the game."
Dude, I got so many bounty hunters that are going to come after me if I'm playing.
If y'all really want me trolling with y'all, I was like, you're going to lose all your stuff.
Y'all want Texas's #1 outlaw on your team.
I wish I was recording though, because that would have been a gold moment to just see how that all unfolded.
How the game just completely broke itself.
Yeah, it's just like.
Do you ever get like a fun moment, like a little taunt, like you kill the whole town and then you roll out of the saloon like Mad Dog Tannen and you got both guns and you're like, do they have any kind of fun moments in the game where you can kind of taunt?
I haven't got to them. I haven't got to them. Well, first off, like it's a slow start, tons of dialogue and cutscenes and stuff, where it takes a long time to get into the action. And then when I finally got in there, like I got a couple of missions rolling, and then like it went on this side mission, and it just all snowballed. And now I can't even play the game. Like if I loaded it up and I started and I went to just ride around on my way to go to a mission, I would have bounty hunters on me like within. Oh my God. And if you kill them, then your bounty just goes up more.
You got to figure out, like, because that's one of the things in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like, the more like shit you do, like, people will hire mercenaries, and there's like a mercenary meter. You can have like 5 of these dudes on you at any given time. but like there's a payoff to like killing the mercenaries. You go up in tiers, and then you'll get some, special stuff or whatever. But like, so I'll kill the mercenary. But if you go find the guy, and he pops up on the map pretty easily, that's actually put the bounty out on your head. You kill him, your bounty goes all the way down. I wonder if Red Dead has something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Find who's wanting to pay these bounty hunters and kill him.
Well, I just uninstalled it and I'm selling it for $40. If someone wants to buy it. I'm done with it. Like I said, I just need to buy my time 2 months for Anthem. Anyone else want to add any, or did you want to do comics and then call it a show?
Do comics and call it a show. Been a good year for comics, I think.
All right. Well, I'll go first. All Batmans. So.
Even the one with that shows his naked peen.
Yep. Especially that one.
Especially that one. Oh.
All right. I'll go next. So this year we got quite a bit out of Transformers. We saw the end of an era, but I do definitely want to point out that Lost Light wrapping up was probably the better of the three, in my view. It was interesting seeing the end of Unicron and Optimus Prime, but Lost Light was really the moneymaker there. So Lost Light for sure. Blue and Gold and X-Men came to a head. That all kind of ended with Extermination, which the last issue came out this week, and that was that was another one. Just seeing that whole thing come full circle. For the reboot, and so far Uncanny X-Men has been great. So I've really enjoyed the first 6 books of Uncanny X-Men. Avengers, man, the new Jason Aaron Avengers has been amazing. Like it was hard to kind of choose between that or the most recent like Captain America Winter in America arc, but it's definitely like Jason Aaron's Avengers is awesome. I'm gearing up for War of the Realms. So I think those are my top 4 with like Captain America, and Thor's been a fun read as an honorable mention. And I think that's it.
That's a Thorific list there.
I think this year started with Death of the Mighty Thor, which was like the end of Jane Foster's run with the hammer. So like I said, it's been pretty solid.
I'm going to keep it real short. I didn't get any comics this year.
Peasant.
Batman for you as well. All right.
I'll go. Well, since you both mentioned Batman, the main Batman title is probably the most. I get maybe 25 DC books and a few other books, but the main Batman titles for me for like the past 5-6 years have been consistently awesome. Like you can pick up a Batman title and know that you're going to get a solid team of writers and artists, no matter which issue it is. So, and Detective is good too. I mean, there are other Batman titles, obviously, but the main Batman title, if I had to suggest one, that would be the one that if you haven't read a Batman book in a while, just pick up the main Batman book. And there are no Batman penises or anything in there, so don't have to worry about that.
That was disappointing.
And here's one. I grew up a Marvel person. I read Marvel from age 9 to like age 35, and then I switched to DC just because I felt like I'd read a lot of Marvel. So I was never a fan of Superman until, maybe the last 5 or 6 years, I started picking up some Superman books. And I would say right now, Brian Michael Bendis is doing the Superman books, and Action Comics, which obviously is, super old comic where it all kind of started. But you can't go wrong with Action Comics right now. He's bringing some fresh takes to the book. It's not, you're not looking at like Lex Luthor every issue. It's that he's got some new characters. I'm not going to spoil it, but one major character that's brand new and has brought a fresh feel to the book. And his stories are good. He's obviously a good storyteller.
I wish Brian Michael Bendis would come back to Marvel. And
I'm glad we got him. He's just got there, so let him. He's really good. Yeah, I felt like DC needed him, so I'm enjoying that. And like I said, like I'm not the Superman Boy Scout fan. I never have been, but lately I'm a Superman fan. Like when the DC Essential Superman came out, I was like, I want the figure because the fiction is living up to, I like the story, so it brings me into wanting to buy a product. I'm going to echo Dakota. That Transformers Lost Light, and even before that, More Than Meets the Eye. That finally ended, and we had how long was it, Dakota? Was it a decade?
Yeah.
It feels like it was a.
I think it was like 11 or 12 years. I want to say IDW started in 2006.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Like, they've been building these characters up in More Than Meets the Eye, and then Lost Light. It's a different name of the book, but it's really the same story. We've
had at least what, man, 5 or 6 years or if not more. What year are we in? 2018.
Yeah,
I think Death of Optimus Prime came out in 12, and More Than Meets the Eye came out shortly. Yeah, so 7 years with these characters, man.
It's a lot.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never picked up a Transformers book, if you go and try to, there's multiple ways you can get these in trades and hardbacks and single issues. But the bottom line is, if you like Transformers and you've never read a comic book, man, it's a brand new world because the characterizations in the book, toys. If you're into toys and you always wanted to like have fiction to fall back on for some of these characters that never had it before, like Getaway or Chrome Dome and Rewind, and I mean the list goes on. And new characters too. There's some new characters.
Swerve is my go-to. Swerve is always my go-to. When talking about how great IDW is, I'm like, look at Swerve and Tailgate. No one cared who they were. No one knew who they were. No one, now they are fan favorites.
Yeah, I mean, if I had the money to buy everybody an issue that liked Transformers that had not picked up these books, I really would. They're fantastic. So Lost Light, More Than Meets the Eye.
I would get everyone the Swerth issue.
Yeah.
Like, that's
another DC book that came out was Doomsday Clock, and from the get-go,
that was great. I heard that was really good.
From the get-go, when DC did their what they called Rebirth, some of the titles were kind of like a soft reboot. Some of them weren't a reboot at all, but a lot of people were misled because of that idea of Rebirth. The title itself kind of made you feel like it was. Some of them weren't, but from the get-go, one of the things that has been going on in the background and it's been slowly unraveled is this idea of, if you ever watched Watchmen or read Watchmen, watched the movie, Dr. Manhattan was the character in Watchmen that actually had, superpowers. So all I'm going to say is there's been Watchmen. Watchmen is now being brought into the DC universe. Before it was it was a DC book separate from the universe. And it slowly has unraveled over the last few years, courtesy of Jeff Johns behind the scenes. Again, great storyteller. And so this book, Doomsday Clock, is kind of the culmination of finally they're showing you what has been going on and what happens when the DC universe is it's kind of been pulled apart. Their reality, this thing called the Source Wall, is kind of broken. So all these different new characters from parallel universes are kind of coming in. Things are going, haywire. And one of the things has to do with the Watchmen characters. So Doomsday Clock, it only comes out. I wish it came out monthly. It's not monthly, but when it comes out, it's a great read. So if you like single issues, that's cool. If you want to wait for the trade, but I would recommend picking it up because it's a smart read. It's a good read. It's got all the DC heroes in there and also the Watchmen in a fresh way.
I would also wait, are you still I thought that was
I got I just have two more. I know I've done my Rushmore. One other thing, I think I mentioned it on this show a long time ago, but early this year and then last year, I think in April this series wrapped up, but the Power Rangers was something that I had some of the toys. I watched some of the early episodes of Power Rangers in like 94 when it premiered, but I'm not like a huge Sentai fan. I'm not like that guy who's watched every episode. I just had a loose knowledge of Power Rangers. but I had heard that Kyle Higgins was writing Power Rangers, and he had been doing that book, and he was going to do a special called Shattered Grid. If you've ever liked anything to do with Power Rangers, even a little bit, and you like comics or just a good fresh take, a darker take on a property that wasn't your thing, I went in completely blind, other than I had heard Kyle Higgins was a good writer. I had read his work on Nightwing. I thought it was pretty good. And then I read Shattered Grid. So if you're a fan of Kyle Higgins, or if you've wanted to see what would Power Rangers be like if you made it darker and had like a great storyteller at the helm of the ship, so I recommend Power Rangers Shattered Grid. It's by Boom Studios. There's 2 titles, but you just need to Google Shattered Grid and find all the tie-ins. I would read that. And my last one is G.I. Joe. So there's no currently.
Specify. I was gonna say specify.
Yeah, I'm gonna specify the Larry Hama Real American Hero.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe book. He came back. He's been doing this for a few years now. He did it before. He's doing it again. It's still such a good title. The military stuff that's in the book is unparalleled because there's just no one writing with the know-how and the inside detail that Larry Hama's has. Also, if you like G.I. Joe, there's no other fiction out there, and he's still touching some of the characters you remember, but he's also given attention to people that maybe didn't get a lot of attention before, like Ambush or Bomb Strike. There's some new characters. There is some fresh takes and some deep storylines that I won't get into involving Snake Eyes. But I recommend G.I. Joe, especially if you've been wanting fiction and enjoy just G.I. Joe. I mean, there's nothing else out there currently. So that's my comic book.
I had another kind of honorable mention, and I don't know why I completely forgot it, but like Cable has always been one of my favorite X-Men. He's always had, I think, probably the better, if not the best, standalone book. Kind of dating back to what was it, Messiah War, Messiah Complex, Messiah War, that era. That whole run was just awesome. That was probably my favorite Cable run. But this most recent iteration of Cable that ended this year was also really, really good. It had a fun start. I think it was last year when it kind of started, when it kind of kicked off. But the story that they got into, or at least the 2 stories they got into this year were just really great. It kind of focused some more on the history of Cable, the backstory of Cable, and now like we've got kind of a newer Cable. So I'm looking forward to like X-Force that comes out next week, or this week rather. So getting X-Force and seeing this kind of new run with this new Cable is going to be a lot of fun, I think. I say new, it's a younger Cable. So.
All right.
Wow. Well, for me.
Oh, I didn't know comics.
I started to come back to it this year. I do want to check out the Batman comics again. I fell out of the wagon a long time ago, but it sounds promising from what Rick said. Transformers Optimus Prime was a good series. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I love Kazama's art. Like,
oh yeah,
it was.
The artwork is beautiful, but that was the one I've been reading the longest throughout the year. The other ones are sort of newer. The Masters, what's it called? Injustice versus Masters of the Universe. If you like Masters of the Universe, if you like DC, this is a comic that's made for you. It's only a few issues in, but it's really good so far. The next one would be the Star Trek versus Transformers comic.
Really?
This is up my alley. I mean, it's done in the animated Star Trek style, if you remember the animated series, but they sort of made it look better. But it's a new comic book thing, so it's only a few issues in.
This is the one where they're using like a lot of the pseudo like 80s designs.
Yeah.
The Transformers too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's I'm enjoying it so far. We're only, I think, 3 issues in. But so far, I'm enjoying it. And the surprise one would be GoBots. It's not GoBots. Yeah,
I think you're trolling us.
no, that's not
Get
for
outta
everyone.
here.
It's not for everyone, but it's
Even
not.
Dalton's calling you out.
There's only one issue out, but
Who's doing it? Is that IDW doing it?
I think so. I don't have it with me,
Huh.
but it's not the GoBots that you remember. Has nothing to do with that horrible cartoon or anything like that. It is completely different. Leader 1 is a killer. So that was sort of a surprise hit for me personally. I liked it. And issue 2 is coming out next week, and I'm definitely picking that up. So those are the 4 so far? Have I named 4?
Yes.
Okay. So, and if you want something really crazy, Scooby-Doo Apocalypse is an honorable mention.
I've heard 2 other people talking me up on that book.
I like it.
I've heard 2 people, 2 completely different tastes too, talking me up on that book.
It's really cool. It's not the Scooby-Doo that you think it is. It's not the campy, goofy, stupid humor stuff. It's pretty cool. So I definitely recommend that. You can get that on the soft covers too. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna end it on Scooby-Doo. So
Scooby-Doo!
we will have a show January 5th. Also a Cybercast then as well. We'll do top 20 figures that we purchased in 2018. So let's go ahead and sign out. Primal, then D.
You can find me everywhere at PrimalSabbath.
I'm trying to be everywhere at Daltonians TFs.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Shatrdglassjazz.
And you can find me here on YouTube as Sportimus and on Twitter as Sportimus Prime.
And you can find me
He uses Yahoo.
Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook pages, the G1 Extron. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for everyone coming and watching. See you guys later. Peace.
Goodbye.